All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakha Kodash. I like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I like to say shalom to the elect that teaches his word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And yeah, today I just want to tie this lesson. Noah talked about the same thing for 120 years, man, which is what? The flood, destruction on a global scale. And you seeing that same sentiment being brought forth today, man, because of the evils, the pestilence. I mean, because of the evil, the wickedness was going to bring forth evils and pestilence and all hell breaking loose, man. So what else can we really talk about? Nothing peaceful. You know what I mean? Anything that's good coming his way. Because even saying the kingdom is at hand, you saying in a roundabout way, this present kingdom is being overthrown. So that's the message, man. So matter of fact, I'm gonna start out with this in the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8, it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old. See, so this is pretty much every time the prophets came on the scene, this has always pretty much been the message. From Jeremiah to Enoch, Noah, to the prophets in the New Testament. Our Lord, Yahushua, he prophesied, man. Of 70 A.D. Those were evils, man. It's always been the thing. Evils is coming. All hell is about to break loose. The Lord is about to bring forth judgment, man. So it says the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, both, it's like prophesied both against many countries. See, so to let you know, this prophecy, this decree is against, many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence. So this message is against these people, against this world, man. Because it's not like you can vote somebody in, and shit gonna go back or shit gonna get right. No, man. The message is what? This place just gotta get overthrown. Fire had to come upon the planet Earth to cleanse it, man. The wickedness have to be rooted out, which is gonna happen by war, evil, and pestilence, man. Which that's gonna be the form of the flood in this modern time, man. To the ultimate form of the flood, which is gonna be by that fire. So that's why, our Lord said, as the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. So because these people act the same way, but also that judgment is gonna be overwhelming, man. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of this is 16 in verse. I start at 1. 15 and 1. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. See, so this is a decree from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. We're not speaking of our own vain opinion. We pulling out the precepts, which is thus saith the Lord, man. It said, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. See, these are true sayings. These things are going to come to pass, man. It's not like it might happen. It might be back. No, it's gonna happen, man. You know, and when it do happens, it's not like we're gonna have any type of carnal aid, some type of way you can ramble your way out of a situation. You can stock up enough food to 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 the nation overpass. No, man. It's gonna have to take divine intervention in that day because these plays are gonna be on women, and we're gonna be in the midst of these things, man. You know, because this judgment is unavoidable. Just going back to Noah, which Lord, we we're gonna touch on that. It tells you that the waters exceeded the mountains, so you couldn't. It wasn't no way to outride that flood. You know, to be preserved in that time, unless you was in the ark, man. You know, so that's how let you know how powerful and how critical having this word is, because it's gonna cost your life, man, if you don't take heed. And that what Noah was saying for 120. He was saying the same thing for 120 years. Then when it happened, when it resonated. That's when they knew it was true. Matter of fact, continue on. It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." See, and this is the time where that make the most sense, because throughout time, the prophets was was always rejected to two-thirds of our people. The wicked amongst our people, they was always rejected. They was always the prophets always looked foolish unto them. But it really makes sense more in this time. That's why I say, who should be ashamed of me in this wicked and adulterous generation, man? Because we actually we look crazy to the crazy people, man. They say we crazy, but they really crazy. We weirdos to weirdos, man. And that's how it was in the time of Noah, because that message was a strange message, man, saying that it was going to rain. Something never you never seen, you never thought in that time. Matter of fact, let's get something real quick just to bag it up, because it was a build up to it. It was something that you never seen before. It was something that was never experienced. Rain in that time. So when Noah came with that message, he was mocked. He was mocked, man. Persecuted, deemed crazy and mad. Just like now today, they say, yo, you got skirts on, and you cussing out a so-called white man with Bibles. They looking at us crazy, man. So let's get this real quick. It's Genesis 2 and verse 4. It says, "These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the days that the Lord power that made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the earth grew before it. For the Lord power had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground." See, it says, "But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground." See, so as you can see in Genesis 2, it highlights that it never rained in that time. So when Noah brought forth that message, that, they like, this nigga crazy, man. That's why I said don't let the incredulity of them trouble thee, man. Because now they making you feel bad because you ain't running with them. You ain't thinking how because that was a system back then. It was a certain mindset, a certain outlook that was playing out during that time. That's why I say matter of fact, let's go to Genesis 6 real quick. It was a certain mindset. It was a system. It was certain rules and regulations that you had to go by. It was certain things about past times they had, and that different clothes or whatever they had for entertainment. It's the same thing today. So let's get this in the book of Genesis 6 and verse 5. It says, "And the Most High saw that wickedness of man was great upon the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. See, the imagination, which their image, and it plays out through their actions, man. You know, and so it was a certain mindset. It was a certain way of life. There was uh, the thing. You know, it was a certain realm, a certain vibration on the planet Earth during that time. You know, and it said those imaginations was only evil continually. That's the same thing you see today. So when you bring forth this message, you know, that America gonna be destroyed, all hell's gonna break loose. You know, these things are gonna take place. They're gonna be harshly rebuked by the way of these plays. They don't want to hear all that because they want to be in part of this cesspool of wickedness, man. You know. So let's go back to 2 Ezra 15 and 3 again. It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." See, because they so it tells their conscience is sealed with a high iron, man. So this is something they really don't understand it. So that what caused them to reject this, man. You know, matter of fact, let's get that real quick. I think that's 2 Ezra the 9th chapter. 2 Ezra 9. Yep, 2 Ezra 9, and I started at 9. It says, "Then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways." See? And how they abuse the ways of the Lord, because we in this grace period and mercy is being extended by the way of this word, this truth. You know, the Lord stretching forth his hands by the way of the prophets, bringing forth this message, man. Telling you to repent or let the Lord kill you, man. That's what we're saying. What else can we say? You know, it's not like you can get around the judgments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It's not like somehow, some way, you wasn't affected by Jacob's trouble one way, form, or fashion, or what? You know, the somehow, some way, the famine, the pestilence, all these things is you gonna just, you know what I mean, not gonna be affected by it. Somehow you slid past it. No, man, we want to actually be in the midst of these things. Only thing we can hope is that Yahweh shall have mercy on us, man, and be preserved despite the outside elements, because the elements is coming. These things, the flood is coming, man. The flood is coming, you know, and that's what Noah was saying for 120 years, man. What else can you say? You know, what it said they're going to be in pitiful case who have abused my ways, meaning what you pretty much is you rejecting his word. You know, is on display. This is that relief you've been looking for, and you don't want. It says, "And they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torment." See, so it says, "Cast them away despitefully." They're gonna dwell. So, meaning what? It was presented unto them, man. It was presented unto them, but they cast it away despitefully, meaning what? They hated this truth because it entails them being uprooted out of America. This message, if you're an American or a patriot, you ain't gotta have a flag hanging out your house to show that you love America. It's through your ways, through your actions. If you got a 10-year plan, you don't want to hear this message. You know, you got things you want to accomplish here. You don't want to hear this message. So that's why they cast away despitefully, because that entails them not seeing their little girl grow up, and go to college here, see their little boy play football, some crazy shit. They're cast away despitefully, but it says, what's the results? They're going to dwell in torments. And that what happened during that time of the flood. They drowned, man. That wasn't a swift way to die. That was a horrible way. That was coined as the first death. That was a horrible way to go out, man. By the way of the flood, drowning and shit, man. So, how much more in this time when you got a series of things the Lord is going to smite this place with? Famine, pestilence, the beasts of the field, man. All the way up to that fire. And we seeing the different things that's causing a domino effect of that, man. These different droughts and, power outages and cyber attacks. All these things are actually leading to it. So when these things take place, it's gonna overtake them, man. It's gonna overwhelm them. So it says, verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, see why this grace is on display. And when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. See, you didn't understand the foolishness of preaching, man. You despised it. Because what it tells you not being here in America no more. That this place is going to be destroyed. That is this relief that you've been looking for this whole time now is here. But they don't want to go. They don't want to. They don't want to take the proper steps to being healed. They want to always find some type of quick form of relief, some way to just get out that situation right then and now. The same spirit as Esau. Like you want to eat something fast, you can just go to McDonald's or some crazy shit like that, fast food. They don't want that form of relief where they're actually going to be satisfied. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick in the book of because this is the way of peace. This is Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59 and verse 8. It says, the way of peace they know not. See, which this is that way of peace. This doctrine that's being on display. This that Lord, when the Lord stretch out his hand, this that peace, this that mercy, But they don't know it. They don't understand. The Lord have blinded them to these things. And as it tells they are willingly ignorant. Just going back, dealing with the cyber attacks or the droughts. Jacob look at it and then turn right back around and they back watching LeBron and some crazy shit. They ain't acknowledging these things that's taking place. They ain't looking for to get out of here. They want to be more comfortable in the cell or the jail. It says, and there's no judgment in their goings. See, because they don't. It's a way out of Babylon, but they don't want that, man. It says they have made them crooked paths. See, meaning what? They trying to take another route to peace. They trying to find another route to peace, man. Oh, that's why it tells you in St. Matthew 24, chapter, how shall I say, there shall many that shall come in my name. Meaning what? Coming at the spirit of being a deliverer or aid. Because a nigga Messiah is, going to the studio, or his way out is pretty much hitting the football field or some crazy shit like that, or going to school. That's their form of release. That's their cricket paths that they embark on to find relief, man. To find peace. But this is that peace, is this truth right here, man. But that cricket paths is that no shortcuts they try to take, to find, relief. Like I said, that aid, that, So it says they have made them crooked paths, whosoever go therein shall not know peace. See? And that lets you know it's only one way to peace. Following Yahweh, man. And it starts by the way of this doctrine, which that's going to lead to actions. Now you got to discern your lifestyle have changed. You look, your outlook is different. Your decision making is all that changes, but it starts by the way of the doctrine. that's the GPS. That's the the when you type in the address, then you can go on that path. Then you walk in that way. But our people want to take shortcuts to get relief, and here in Babylon, pretty much, So what's going to be the results? They're gonna die, man. What else can you tell somebody? It's not an easy way to tell somebody they're gonna die, man. Especially when in a lot of cases you see a motherfucker that you see these people, ain't repenting, man. Out of all these things that's taking place, you actually seeing it, at least in the time of Noah, they only, they didn't consider the diligence of Noah, but in this time you actually see articles and shit coming out. You see videos and news clips and all these evidence supporting this message, and they just casting it away, man. So how much more the Lord's gonna kill these niggas, man? So let's go back to 2 Ezra 15 and verse 3 again. It says, "Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee." See, their unbelief. Just because they don't believe, don't mean that it's not gonna happen. Matter of fact, let's get that in the book of Romans. Just because nigga don't believe, don't mean it ain't gonna happen. Nigga can go to the club and do all this and just think everything okay, but it tells you evils is growing upon the earth, man. So fuck what a nigga think. What the scripture say? And that's what Noah, that's the spirit Noah was in. It said he was a preacher of righteousness and he condemned the world, man. He think he had feelings about them niggas, man. And they had, they actually create a little miniature ark, for their child, and now this nigga knocking on the ark saying, "Can you at least save my child?" So hey, you can't, that's why the Lord's building us as stones, man. No feelings. Because hey, the Lord's about to bring swift judgment upon planet Earth on a global scale. That's why it's known that same time, the time of Noah, because it happened on a global scale. These people, living this same lifestyle, and this judgment is going to come on a global scale, but it's going to be by the way of fire this time. So this is Romans 3:3. It says, "For what his son did not believe, shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?" So just because a nigga don't believe it, and he ain't repenting, that don't mean that the Lord is going to renege on what he said. It's going to prosper anything whereto he sent it. It's going to accomplish where he pleased, man. It says, "The Most High forbid." See, yeah, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. Meaning what the precepts say. Whatever the scriptures say, that's what it's true. That we just read in 2 Ezra 15. These words are faithful and true, man. It's up to you to believe the report. If you don't believe it, that means you was in it. Somebody got to die of the famine. Somebody got to die of the sword, the pestilence. All these said parables. Somebody got to actually take, play that role. So it ain't gonna be meant for them to believe it. But for the ones that do believe it, it's a role also to be delivered. It's a lot to be preserved from these said parables. Somebody got to actually play that role as well. And the gauge to that, to the measure of that is the ones who believe this truth, man. This message that believes the report. So it says, the Most High forbid, meaning hell no. Yeah, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mayest be justified in thy sins and mightest overcome without our judge. See why? Because the scripture is gonna manifest. You're gonna actually see what we saying instead of just blowing it off. You're gonna actually see what we saying in the time to come, man. So matter of fact, let's go back to 2 Ezra 15 and 4. It says, "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." See, so that's the penalty for not believing. That's the penalty for not believing. That's a You got Jace that want to talk about the law, this law. Well, the penalty for breaking the law of faith is what you're gonna die, man. Because this message is not like I said, is you gotta actually, this is something that you actually gotta be built to believe, man. This ain't nothing that you saying that the well, whoever in the playoffs, what the Nets is gonna beat whoever, the worst team in the NBA, whatever. You can see that. It ain't far fetched. You can actually entertain it. But when we tell you that America's gonna be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear, the whole landmass is gonna be on fire. And the only way to escape is to be beamed up by so-called UFOs by a Lord Yahweh, which is a so-called black man. You actually gotta be built to believe that, man. And but that's gonna be the results of not believing that. Especially if you're on the land of America, here in America, Babylon the Great is especially you here in America. We only here, to either be delivered or to be destroyed, man. Lord, I be the one, be part of the one to be delivered, man. But that's what Noah was saying. At least you is in the ark, you're gonna die. So matter of fact, let's get this in the book of, because we're in the time of wrath. So meaning what? Because the Lord is balanced. When wrath is coming forth, mercy also is going to be extended as well, man. And that mercy was, being in that ark. And what's that ark today? This house, which is the pavilion of the Lord, which is this truth, man. Being part of this council, man. So this is Sirach 44 and 17. It says, Noah was found perfect and righteous. See, in the time of wrath, he was taken in exchange for the world. See, so in that time of wrath, mercy was bestowed unto Noah, because the Lord briefed him, gave him a heads up on what needs be to escape. He gave him the blueprints to escape that judgment. It was going to be by the way of building that ark. And he was preaching he was prophesying, man. He wasn't just building it on the low. He was doing it in secrecy. He made sure everybody knew about this, man. He made sure everybody knew about the coming flood. And he constantly reminded you about these things, about that judgment. And it only resonated with these people when that first raindrop came. That's when reality set in. That's when he was taken in exchange for that was that ransom right there, man. It says, therefore he was left as a remnant unto the earth when the flood came. See? So, and you won't see that today. And this flood, this modern day flood, is going to be about a series of plagues the Lord is going to send forth, man. And it's known as a flood. Why? Because it's going to be overwhelming, man. It's not going to be pretty much, it's going to seem like there's no hope in sight, man. For the ones that subscribe to this system, subscribe to the so-called white man. Like I said, you ain't got to have an American flag hanging outside your damn house, man. If you, got plans for America, of course we got to, do what we got to do to, what is it, the daily bread, to stay maintained. But if you put stock into it, you trying to get settled here in this place, that's who this destruction is for, man. So, matter of fact, let's get this real quick. Habakkuk 3 in verse 2. Oh Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. See, and that's that message. That's supposed to be your reaction to when this message come forth, man. You should be afraid. Now you should be like, what can I do to escape the wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua? What can I do to get right with the Lord? Waving the white flag, so to speak. It says, O Lord, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. See? So as you can see, in the time of wrath, mercy, so like it's gonna be stretched forth. It's gonna be on display as well. But it starts now. That the doors of mercy are open now before that wrath comes, man. You know. But like just going back, what else can we really talk about? Like I said, Noah was talking about the same thing for 120 years, man. What else could Noah really say in that time? What else could he really say? He couldn't say, you know, uh, everything gonna be okay. Only thing he could try to do was convince them to build the ark and have a room for him. To pretty much to repent. You know, and get in that ark because there was going to be no other way to escape. Oh yeah, that's let's get that in the book of Amos 5. Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? See? Woe unto you because you don't know what the day of the Lord truly entails. Was we in the beginning of that? What starts by the way of evils and pestilence and all these things. Yeah, the kingdom gonna come. Peace is coming, but it's gotta be through war first, through the evils, through the pestilence, the anguish and the sorrow. Then the kingdom can come after those things take place. So to what end is it for you? It says the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. See, because for a lot of people, it's gonna be no hope. There's gonna be no hope. The very thing they thought they was looking for, and you know what I mean, asking for, they really didn't know what they wanted, man. Because these crazy Christians, what it said, when the Lord come back, thinking that it's all pieces and creams, not knowing the Lord's coming back, as a mighty warrior, man. Tells you coming with fire, with his chariots, with his fear and his anger, man. So that's the climax. That's the climax with the missiles, the laser beams, But even for you got to get to that day. That's how bad that day is. You got to actually be invited to that day, good or bad, because it's a series of plays that's going to take place before it. Like I said, the famine, the peasant, the wild beasts of the field, and a plethora of other ways to kill you. You got to go through all that to even experience that day, to even see that day, man. So that and let you know, though, I said the day of the Lord is darkness, not light, because it's going to these people, man, they're going to bug out when all hell break loose, man. When that flood comes, like I said, that flood is overwhelming. Once you taken, ain't no hope left. When that rug get pulled from under you, you ain't got nothing to stand on. So that's what's gonna happen when the Lord finally just get a green light to because these devil angels here, they all in the midst. These newly created beasts, they in the cut. The money is already volatile. Once it crashes, that's it. Once the power go out, it might not come back on, which that's going to cause the water to stop running. That's going to, that whole still water to be broken, man. These motherfucker panic buying. It's going to get a point where these grocery stores not going to open back up, man. So it's not going to be no light, no hope. Like I said, no light at the end of the tunnel for these people. No hope in that day. They're going to be shooting from the hip with every decision they make, man. They're not going to be sure about nothing. Just like in the time of the flood, when it was raining, it got to the point where, because it was a builder, it wasn't like everybody died that first day of rain. No, it was a builder. They went to sleep and shit, and then they woke up, it was still pouring down. It got to the point it was at their knees and their hips. And then when it got to their neck, that was it, man. It wasn't no light. And then you had people, like I said, running towards the mountains. But what happened? It tells it far exceeded the mountain, so you couldn't. It was no hope, no light at the end of the tunnel, man. It says it asks if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. See, so those you trying to escape from danger, you're gonna actually run into some worse. You're gonna actually run. You're gonna actually be led to another scenario. Was gonna lead to your death. So you flee from a lion and a bear meet you. It says, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So let's just say if you get through all these things, somehow you got past the famine. You found enough rats and house pets to get you past that, to get you past being in a concentration camp. Somehow you survived it, or and a plethora of other things the Lord is going to send upon the planet Earth. Somehow you get past all that. And once you better take your breath, you think everything's finished now. The serpent gonna bite you with those fiery flying serpents, is those missiles, which it tells you nothing is going to escape them. And that's why it's gonna have to take an aerial deliverance. That's gonna be the only way out is up. Matter of fact, let's get some real quick. Was that all? Is all time back in the Noah? Matter of fact, Lord, I'm gonna get that too. I got two precepts. Let's see, Psalms 121 and 1. It says, "I lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help." See, so the help is gonna be up, man. It's gonna take divine intervention, a higher power to be delivered from these things, and it literally we're gonna actually have to have help from on high when we get plucked up, from these things, man. From that fire, which is those thermonuclear missiles, man. So matter of fact, let's go. Let's get this in the book of Genesis 7. And let's see. This Genesis 7 and verse. I start at 15. They went unto Noah into the ark, two of all flesh, wherein the breath of life. And they that went in, male and female, of all flesh, as the Most High commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. See? And it said that ark, it says, wherein the breath of life. So this is the doctrine of life. Because our doctrine don't stop when the missiles hit. Everybody else's doctrine is gonna stop when the missiles hit. When these pestilence, these things happen, martial law take place, when the money crash, a nigga doctrine gonna stop. It's gonna come to a dead end. That's when his hope is gone. And it's ultimately gonna manifest, and it's gonna be made sure and stamped when those missiles come, man. That's why it tells you it's literally gonna happen. But it says their eyes is gonna consume away in their hopes, meaning their dreams and their aspirations, man. But it is a build up to that. By the way, these things, all hell breaking loose. But this is the breath of life, this provision of the Lord, because this doctrine is everlasting, man. It's everlasting. But for everybody else outside is truth, it leads to death, meaning it's an end to it. It says, and it said the Lord shut it. So it's the Lord, was gonna seal it off, man. It says, and the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and built up the ark, and it was lifted above the earth. See? So it said the waters increased. So it was a builder. It wasn't like everybody died that first day, man. It was a builder. It gave them time, using time out, so to speak. You had time to think about what you did. But that's how they knew Yahweh Hashem Al Shai. When the flood was at waistline. They still doing shit. They ain't like Noah open that door. They probably came to him here and there. But it was a point where, they knew about the Lord then. That Noah was right. Out of all the time, out of 120 years, he was right. They thought this man was, until the day he Wisdom saw in the 5th chapter, his life was mad, his end to be without honor. They thought this man, Noah was going to build a ark and die. That he just that crazy old man that built, the ark, and he died. It wasn't no honor in it, but not knowing that he's well renowned now. He's known, But it says the waters increased, so it was a buildup, and it said the ark was lifted up above the earth. So the ark was lifted up above the earth, and that's what's going to happen in this time. That's why it tells you in the same Revelations, the 15th chapter. I'm going to stand on the sea of glass, meaning outside the ozone layer. You actually looking down at the judgment, because you're going to have, that's the only way to escape those missiles, man. That destruction. You're going to actually be in the vehicle of salvation, which is the so-called UFOs, which are the chariots, man. That's going to be the way out. But just going back, it takes faith to believe those things, man. It takes faith to believe that. Matter of fact, let me continue on this. It says, and the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth. See? So as each day went by, it intensified. It got more and more intense as that when that judgment once them 40 days, when them 40 days started, when that day number 10 was not like day number 1. Day number 23 wasn't like day number 17. Day 40. It was a build up, and the judgment intensified. And that's how it's gonna play out in this time. It's gonna get, like I said, we just read Amos 5th chapter that tells you you're gonna feed from a lion, then you're gonna meet a bear. And if you get away from that, then a serpent gonna bite you, man. So the judgment is gonna increase as we get closer and closer to that perfect day, man. Was that perfect day in Genesis, in the time of Noah, was those 40 days where everybody died, and after that, man, now you seeing dead bodies floating everywhere, man. That's when that day was perfected, after that 40th day, when the judgment was at its height. Matter of fact, continuing on, it says, and the waters prevailed and were increased greatly upon the earth. And the ark went upon the face of the water. See, so it lets you know it intensified at each day, man. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upward did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered. See, so meaning what? You couldn't escape that judgment, man, unless you was in the ark at the end of the day. Unless you was in the ark, you were gonna die. Matter of fact, continue on. It says, "In all flesh that moved died." So, like, in all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both fowl and of cattle, and of beasts, and of every creeper thing that upon the earth, and every man. See. So, meaning what? That was the message of Noah. You were gonna die, man. And he did it for 120. It was a build up to those rumors. Then it turned out to be true. Everything Noah was talking about was actual fact. Why? Because they the words of Yahweh Shemel Shai. The scriptures ain't known as commandments for nothing. Because the Lord is actually commanding reality, life. And it's, only thing we doing is just narrating, man. So, matter of fact, let's get this in the book of because, like I said, these judgments is unavoidable, man. It's not like I said, it's going to have to take divine intervention to be delivered from these things. And now, out of all these things you see, you got to entertain what we saying. These strange teachings, motherfucker might scoff at the so-called UFOs. But now you got actual Esau, his military is, and now you see that's the war in heaven. Because why the military is the one that's relaying the news about the so-called UFOs, man. Why they the ones that gotta relay the news? Because that's that war in heaven, man. But now, as you see, as time go by, the words of Yahweh Shema Shai is being made manifest. These things are true. The things that's written in paper, they are faithful and true. Because it's realities. This is life. No matter care how strange it sounds, or because Esau, he like to put everything in a box because people they can't see nothing past something with batteries in it, or you plugging it up into the wall or some shit like that, or Bluetooth. It's things the Lord is gonna show up on the planet Earth that's gonna be beyond human comprehension, man. But you gotta get built for that, man. So I started out this second 15 and 35. Second 6 like 16 and 35. It says, "Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord." See? And what are these things when you go into the second 16 pretty much talks about evils, the beginning of evils and wars, famine and tribulation, and those scourges, which is the plagues. And understand them. It says, "Behold the word of the Lord, receive it." See, so it said, "Behold," meaning what? Look, it's gonna get a point in time you're gonna actually look at the word of the Lord by the way of these things taking place. It said, "And receive it," meaning digest it, man. Believe it now. It's to the point you ain't got no choice but to believe, which that's gonna happen to everyone, one way, form, or fashion. Is gonna have to take these, like going back to Noah. They knew not into the flood, so they believed when the flood came. That's when they received it. But it was too late for them. So everybody gonna believe, the Lord one way, form, or fashion, whether by you believing the report and seeing and trusting, the doctrine and doing what you can do to have so the Lord can have mercy upon you, walk this walk. Or you're going to believe it by the way of you running from the truths, and you get apprehended when you see these things. The prophets when you actually experience. So like when you experience these things, the prophets was talking about. That's when they're gonna believe it. Then, it says it said, "Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake." Why? Because that entails another mindset. Once you believe in Buddha, you got a whole nother mindset. You ain't thinking about America being destroyed. Your mind ain't on Yahweh Shema Shai. You ain't walking according to the law, standards, commandments. We can't do that perfectly, but it's a standard. It's a certain standard with Allah or these other, deities and false idols, man. It's a whole nother mindset that come with that. So it said, "Believe not." It says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh." Now, see why I keep saying behold, because it's going to get a point in time you're going to actually see it. You're going to actually see these things. "As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, with 2 or 3 hours of her great pains, of her birth, great pains compares her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment." See? So it said a woman in the 9th month. So meaning what? You see the stomach, it has reached its climax. It's the time of the deliverance, the birth. It tells you that Isaiah 30 and 30, it tells you that as that breach swelling out in the high wall, well, that's that birth is swelled out now. And the only thing left for it to do is the water to break and the baby to come forth, man. So everything is ran its course. We at the climax. It's about to come to a head. Everything is about to be concluded now, man. Everything is about to be concluded. We're about to come into the climax of life, by the way of our Lord Yahweh returning, man. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. See? So let you know, that's just like being put in a room with no door. You been in a room with 4 walls, but ain't no door. Ain't no way out, but only up. So it's gonna have to take divine intervention, in the time to come, man. Because this is a time like no other. When we, like I said, we also in that time and all, meaning you couldn't outride that judgment. Like I said, the mountains, the waters exceeded the mountains, so you actually had people going up to the mountains, think they were gonna ride out the flood, But it was on sorrow was upon on every side. There was no escape. And then we saying, unless you come to the pavilion of the Lord, coming to this truth, there's no hope, man. What else can we really tell these people, man? That everything gonna be okay? You be lying to yourself, then. You just read in Jeremiah the 28th chapter that the prophet that been before me 40 years old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms of war of evil and pestilence. So that's the only thing. Because that got to take place for the kingdom to come, man. Matter of fact, let's get this 2 4 and verse 28. It says, but as concerning the things whereof thou askest me, I will tell thee. For the evil is sown, but the destruction thereof is not yet come. See, the evil sown, which is America, but it says the fate of it was going to be destruction, but it's not yet come. But now we in that time where everything is right. The time of the threshing. Now it's time for the destruction to take place. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, see? So meaning what? If this place don't get rooted out, and how it's going to be rooted out? Through those plagues, those said perils. That's how it's going to be rooted out. This is how America is going to be put up. This is how it's going to be turned upside down by the way of the money crashing. Like I said, the beasts of the field, and it's a plethora of other things, man. That's why you just say great death and mourning, because you can't just pinpoint one thing that's going to cause sorrow upon these people, man. It's going to be everything. Everything's going to affect these people one way, form, fashion. You just got these Americans, they'll bug out. They'll go crazy if they ain't got no Wi-Fi. How much more when the power go out or when the water off? When these grocery stores shut down and never open again. When these neighborhood wars and food wars and race wars, because it's gonna be different pockets of everything happening throughout Babylon, but it's gonna certain areas, certain plays gonna stick out in those certain areas, man. That's what's coming, and it's gonna be overwhelming. That's why it's gonna have to take divine intervention. It says, if therefore that which is sown be not turned upside down, and if the place where the evil is sown pass not away, then cannot it come that is sown with good. See? So meaning what? The only way the kingdom can come, destruction got to take place first. And that's going back to Noah. We can end off on this. Matter of fact, this is Hebrews. Because he was talking about this for 120 years till it happened, man. It said, though it tarry, wait for it surely come, it will not tarry. So you seeing these rumors, everything is coming to a head now. Out of all this time, now you finna see. Out of all this time, now these things about to take place. That fish caught in the snare, the bird caught in the net. These people are snared in their evil time. It's a point in time where these things was going to take place, and now we here. We're in a manifestation of the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. So let's get this Hebrews 11:7. by faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, see? And that was going to make you move. Knowing the judgments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You get introduced to knowing about what happened in Noah, knowing what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, Egypt, and all these former kingdoms that happened before. Then knowing what's going to take place in America. That's going to make you move with fear, man. Doing what you can do to get in the good graces of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. You know, it says, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world. See? So while he was building, he was condemning the world. He was prophesying against that system. You know, he was prophesying against them. It says, condemn the world and became heir of the righteousness, which is by faith. See? He became heir of the righteousness, which is by faith, man. You know? And that's going to happen again. And this time, you know, it was back then on the sham, he kept the name, you know, in the customs. When in this time, everybody ain't going to have no choice but to keep the name and the customs, you know, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. You know, we're going to be the heir of righteousness, which is by faith. And that's that faith, that seed, you know, and it's going to grow and manifest into its perfection, man. By the way, these things take place and ultimately the kingdom coming. You know, but that's pretty much it, Akim. I just hope to edify. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rachakodash. Let it give double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Let it say shalom to the elect that teaches word and our true faith and sincerity. DTA, abide the ball. Soon, very soon.